Hello, everybody. It's Leala
And Beau.
And welcome to my channel, or back to my channel if you've ever been here before. Today, in this video, we are going to discuss our hopes and dreams for Queendom Season 2.
Yes. Yep. And you might have heard us before when we did the Girls Planet 99 coverage.
I thought we would just briefly reintroduce ourselves for people who might be new.
Go ahead.
We are an too old for this K-pop couple, married couple.
You're not old, I'm old.
And on my channel we make various content, including discussion and recap videos like this, and then some unboxing videos and things like that. So if you're new here, welcome. Please subscribe if you'd like to hear our Queendom Season 2 recaps.
Yes.
That will be coming soon.
Soon, hopefully, yes. Very soon, hopefully.
Yeah. Well, end of March.
Yep.
So we thought before they actually announce who's on the show, we would start out by talking about who we want to see and who we think we might see, and then we'll see if we're right or wrong.
Yeah, I was going to say our prediction, we get about half to 75% right. Girls Planet, we got pretty accurate.
We were 50% accuracy rate with Girls
not
Planet.
That's not bad considering
That's not good either.
Considering the landscape of madness that is K-pop.
Okay. So this is the outline of what we're going to discuss in today's little podcast episode style thing that we like to do here, everyone. First off, I thought we'd talk a little bit about the history of the series, and we've watched all of them, so share our thoughts on it. Our 6 dream lineup groups, because historically there have been 6 groups, so we're picking 6 that are our hopes and dream groups, and then some bonuses that could also maybe be in there, and then also discussing who we don't expect to be on the show and also don't maybe want to be on the show.
Yeah, there's some groups like
some
that.
reasons for that. So yeah,
good. Yeah, let's go. Hello, Bomb.
Let's go. So I'm sure most people that would listen to something like this are familiar with the series.
Yeah, I hope so. If not, basically it's a reality show where the different groups, some more known than others, get together. And it's not, I don't really think it's a competition. There wasn't really there was in Road to Kingdom. But basically in Queendom, you had 6 groups come together. If one group came in last, 6th place, 2 episodes in a row, they would be kicked off.
Right.
But
that didn't happen on Queendom.
Spoilers, but we're going to be doing spoilers for these. But so if you don't want to hear them, go watch them first. But that did not happen on Queendom. Everybody stayed afloat. The quote-unquote prize at the end was that they got to unveil their original song and perform it on stage in front of a crowd. It's really weird to see in the middle of the pandemic, but this is before
Queendom
that.
was in 2019.
Yes, you had a
Road
crowd.
to Kingdom was in 2020. And then Kingdom in 2021.
So what I was wondering is, were they planning on doing it originally that way? Queendom, Road to Kingdom, Kingdom, and then Queendom 2.
Probably.
Because it's a 3-year difference between Queendom and Queendom 2, so that's kind of weird. But I don't think, I think the pandemic threw everything into a tizzy, so who knows?
I think that the structure of the show has changed as they've learned what kind of people respond to more and what they like. As it's gone, because it's changed a little bit. Like in Queendom, there was the threat of elimination that never happened, so it was just a bit weird. Road to Kingdom, there actually were eliminations. They actually kicked 2 groups off of the show before it was over.
Was the point not to get one group to go on to Kingdom? Okay.
Road to Kingdom, the point being if the winner gets to go on to Kingdom, which
with
was
more popular known groups.
with more popular known groups, and then Kingdom, there was no threat of elimination.
It was just a big love fest.
No one was going to get kicked off of the show. It was just each time was a ranking from top to bottom or whatever. And quite frankly, I liked that format the best. Same. There was never a threat for anyone to be removed or overly embarrassed by ranking last or anything like that. It was just, we're here to do performances, and there was a ranking aspect, there was a voting aspect with fans, which is fine, but I personally, I think sometimes people online take the competition aspect of it a little too seriously.
Right.
And, argue with each other too much, and it turns into, fan war fodder, which is just totally not necessary.
Yeah.
I mean, if you watch the show, the groups don't harbor any hard feelings towards each other. They all love each other.
Publicly, they don't.
And,
yes.
like have fun working with each other and respect each other. So why wouldn't you as a fan not also follow that example, in my opinion? Because like it's just fodder for fan wars a lot, but I think people just need to stop that.
The prize, or the goal of the show is the unspoken goal of getting not only attention to your group, but positive attention to your group. So you can quote unquote lose the show, like Park Bomb, for example, didn't win in Queendom, but she probably picked up a bunch of fans, or at minimum
certainly
people
from us. We watched it way after the fact. We just watched Queendom. We just went back and watched it because I watched Road to Kingdom as it was airing, and I watched Kingdom as it was airing, and then we went back to Queendom because I wasn't familiar with the whole series before that. Now with the new one. And I didn't know much about 21, and I don't know much about Park Bomb, but we walked away with it loving her. She's so sweet.
Yeah.
And, I mean, they gave her such a hard time on that show.
I didn't dislike any of the people on the show. There were a few people you could tell who were really kind of uncomfortable here and there, but nothing. When Moonbuell from Mamamoo was talking, she was talking about to the boy group who was going on Road to Kingdom. She's like, "Why are you going through that hell?"
Right.
I think she was joking, but I think it was also because at the time Mamamoo, you can tell in the show they're working, a very popular working group.
Yeah.
So there's times where they're coming in from the night before performing, which is hard. But
members were kind of here and there, not sometimes. I think
so. I don't think we'll see that now because the pandemic is going on. So this next one, it'll be much more loose, more like more like Kingdom. So the goal is not to win necessarily. I guess the goal would be to not get eliminated if there's an elimination aspect to it.
There better not be one.
I don't think there should be.
There wasn't one in Kingdom. There shouldn't be in this
Kingdom.
Again.
The point to me, Kingdom was so great, and Queendom in a way too, because it gave you a good feeling. But there was instead of everybody trying to eliminate each other, it was everybody trying to have these friendly rivals where they one-upped each other. But they still supported each other. They were respectful to each other. It was very feel-goody stuff.
Well, so the setup with Queendom was a bit like odd. They like made you rank someone below you,
and then the worst part,
and like
though.
That was, I thought that was a bit underhanded. I didn't really like that, and they didn't do that in Kingdom with the boys.
I think they heard,
so they better not do it again.
Well,
they better not. I didn't like that. No negative energy. Like, come on.
Basically, in Queendom, you had to say who do you think was above you in this performance and who was below you. Right. And now we're going to tell the person below you that you said they were below.
I didn't like that.
And I thought it was to do the one to say who somebody thinks is above, so everybody's on the field of everybody's okay. Don't do the thing where 6 people say this group was below all of us, because that was just demoralizing and it wasn't fun.
No.
And it was the only time of the show where you're kind of going, oh, they're trying to pull out some like American reality show drama stuff. We don't want that. Over here, it's all drama all the time on a reality show. It's kind of trashy.
Yeah, I don't like that sort of thing.
Well,
so I hope the format of the new Queendom follows the format of the last Kingdom. Where it's more just there is a ranking aspect and who got first or last, which is like fine, and like we learned that not everybody cares, and that's totally fine.
Yeah, who cares?
Icon didn't care, and they did amazing anyway, and it doesn't matter.
If anything,
and two, the reason I like these shows in this format, and the reason I'm excited for Queendom, is that it gives you the opportunity to get to know groups you may not know already, which is part of, again, why I don't understand the fan war thing about people's reaction to it, is that, like, you have your one group and you support them and you hate everyone else. Because, it's an opportunity to get to know someone new. Like, I walked out of Road to Kingdom. I had never heard ONF before. I never knew who they were. I didn't know anything about them. I walked out of the end of Road to Kingdom with them as practically an old. Like, I love them so much, and I am so thankful for this show introducing me to them. Similarly with Oh My Girl, we kind of knew them a little bit.
Yeah, I loved Oh My Girl, but I didn't quite know them that well.
Kingdom, I knew all of the groups already. Maybe I got to know SF9 a little bit more, but that's what I'm hoping for with Queendom too, and we'll talk a lot about that as we get into our.
I agree. I think it's the goal should not be it's a competition. The goal should be. I see K-pop groups as like what we've talked about this before, like a comic book team, the X-Men, the Avengers, even maybe DC versus Marvel with the different labels, whatever. But in this case, it's like having a fantasy fight between all your favorites, but there's no hard feelings, and the idea is that you're all pushing each other to greater performances instead of having this dread hang over the show. Now, it wouldn't surprise me if in Queendom 2 they went back to that kind of more dramatic thing.
not.
I hope not either, because to me, there's no point in a competition show that has no prize. Every group that's already there has already gotten a prize. They'll pick up some new viewers, some new listeners.
Yeah. The point is, A, to get to know people that you maybe don't already know. B, get to see collabs that you would never otherwise see, which is always my favorite part.
Yeah, my favorite too.
In Kingdom, they took all the rappers together, and that was just like if you haven't watched that performance
that's
of
what
all the
I
rappers,
want to see. Yeah,
like absolutely next level. Like, come on, and then doing wild creative stages that you would never get to see.
Which the wild creative stages are, I don't want them to get larger, I want them to get more creative. I want to see them more creative, because pretty soon...
It will be with the girls, because the girls aren't doing the stuff that the boys are doing, where they're doing like flips and like acrobatic stuff really as much. Maybe. We may be surprised.
Maybe so.
But the boys tend to push each other farther and further into doing stunts that sometimes seem dangerous and a little bit like, don't get hurt. Whereas I don't think the girls necessarily do that as much, so I think that'll be good. But anyway, are you ready to get into our 6?
Yeah, but I just want to say one of the things that I regretted about Queendom was there was no rap.
Me too. That was the biggest missed opportunity.
Yeah, that was exactly. So I'm hoping in this one because there's a
Come
really,
on,
really
let the ladies rap.
Oh, there's good rap.
Come on.
Crazy.
Okay, let's go. Okay, so these are our 6 picks that are... A, both are dream picks, and 2, I think pretty realistic. So let's go.
I think so.
First, we have Cherry Bullet, who, if you are familiar with us from listening to our Girls Planet episodes, we love them. We love Bora,
I love Bora.
And we need her to sing for us again on a show like this. So,
if you went back during GP, for example, and you watched some of Bora's other shows and stuff where she sings live, and does a big emotional stuff, she will destroy everybody at this. She'll probably be
the battle of the main vocals.
Yeah, she'll probably be one of 3 or 4 other singers who can. It's not that Bora is the thing about Bora is not that she has the perfect tone and all that stuff. She doesn't have the greatest character to her voice. There's a lot of people who kind of sound like her from Super Yuppers. WJCN, the blonde, I forget her name, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know.
She sounds a lot like Bora. They use a similar technique of singing. It's that she's huge notes that bring out a lot of emotion in people. It makes you feel something just because you hear that live, and it's like, whoa. And I could see her, I forget who we have in the rest of our fantasy lineup, but there's certain singers in there you could see her. Or even, of course, I think it's Hyan, and the other main singer here in Cherry Bullet is very good as well. I mean, they can all sing, but she's a belter. But that's what people don't understand about her. She can belt. She can make a note that is so loud,
Cherry Bullet are like super underrated, so I think that they could really use this sort of pick-me-up and lift. Like, they're maybe more suited if this was a road to Queendom, but at the same time, like, FNC group, SF9 appeared on Kingdom, Cherry Bullet maybe
they
would
had
appear because they have
as
a
well,
good...
I think, that was in Queendom. I thought they did. Didn't they have a FNC?
Oh, AOA, but we're not talking about AOA.
No, but I'm just saying they have...
in that, like, the company has a good relationship, so, like, maybe there's a possibility there because of that. And also, they need a comeback. They haven't had a comeback in over a year.
So their comeback has been announced for what date? I can't remember.
I think they said they have one planned in March, which is, like, right before Queendom starts, which is kind of a bad omen for them being on Queendom. But I'm still, my hopes are still there.
But not necessarily, because they could be, they've announced that it's going to come out. They could be filming Queendom soon, or even getting to it soon, or somewhere, because they put it out. It has like a month lag, because they have to often edit stuff that's older. And somebody pointed out on the subreddit or whatever that there were 2 or 3 groups in the history of Kingdom, and I think Road to Kingdom as well, that were promoting at the time. As a matter of fact, if you watch Queendom, what's her name? The really cute one who teamed up with Hwasa to sing, the really cutesy one who wanted her to eat her.
Kay from Lovelies?
Yeah, she was in the middle of filming a video during the...
Right. They had a comeback.
Hwasa said, oh, you're having a comeback? She said, yeah, and her hair changed and stuff.
Yeah.
So it would not surprise me if FNC was like, I don't think the timing works out, but their announcement of their comeback around the time of Queendom, you have a comeback at the end of Queendom. That's kind of the goal. You play your original song. I think there'll be 2 separate songs, but it is possible for them to have one right before they go into Queendom. And from Queendom, their popularity gets that
go
song.
up and up and up. It could build on itself. So I just really want to see them because I want to see Bora and the main vocalist collab.
Here's the thing about Cherry Bullet real quick too, is they have one of the reasons they had, I think, so many problems maintaining large numbers is not the quality, is not the talent. They had 10 people starting off, they lost 3. It's, according to what I've read, because I'm a new Cherry Bullet fan, like a lot of people from GP999, they switched concepts like 4 times.
Yes.
Did cutesy and then girl crushy and some groups do that and it works, and I just don't think it works.
They don't have a solid style that's theirs.
So Queendom 2 could be their opportunity to really solidify. Not only that, but they're older now. They could do a little bit more mature stuff. I'm not saying like Girl Crush, but more dramatic, and solidify themselves as a real group with a real concept.
Yeah. That
they could hold on to for a while. That's my hope.
Let's hope. So that's our hopes for Cherry Bullet. And after that, WJSN. We aren't huge WJSN fans. We have gotten into Choco Mae's comebacks recently because we love them.
It's the most brilliant thing in the world.
Because their style and everything like that. But they're a group that I think has a lot of potential for us to like get to know them and see them do lots of versatile concepts. Like they have the Choco Mae groups, and then they did WJSN The Black last year, which is one of my most listened to songs. Easy. Good for you. Like it's just so good, and the versatility there between the members of this one group, to see them come together, I think there's a huge potential there for them.
Now, this is a group that some could not show up, and maybe they do a smaller group. They've had that happen, I think, a few times.
Yeah, they have a lot of members, so they could kind of
maybe there'll be some of
mix
that,
and match, do subunits, be really creative with the lineup.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me if you heard, like, let's say there's 10, right? Let's say you showed up with 8, and they were like, or 7 even, and they were like, she and Chi are off doing a Broadway show, or something,
We don't really know that much about them or anything like that, but I think that they are one that I am really excited to get to know through something like this.
They're a perfect size group too,
and for lots of members.
You want lots of members, and then you don't know anything about them, so people would tune in to find out more. If you just put the most popular group in the world, it's just another show that you're watching, a group that you know. So I think they're just a fantastic choice, and I hate to say this, or a group similar to them that is that level. Lots of chances to get to know them.
The kind of popularity level of groups that I'm thinking that would be on the show is groups like this that actually have something to gain from doing this much work. Like it's really hard. It takes 3 months. It's like you shouldn't do it if you have nothing to gain from having done it. And I think groups like Cherry Bullet and WJSN have a lot to gain, and that's what's exciting. That's what's exciting about thinking about them.
And they still have a fan base, so they can vote and stuff.
They can show us something we haven't seen before from people we haven't seen it before. So
right, I'd love to see them.
WJSN, and after that, similar situation, Dreamcatcher. Like they're another group that could really use that more mainstream attention and popularity and recognition for their very unique style through a platform like this. Like, I would love to see them come and bring their distinct Dreamcatcher metal thing, but also do something different and bring us something that we haven't seen before.
Do a cute concept. I've seen them do cute before. It was so funny. Like it was like on a live stream or something. They were doing some cute stuff. It's funny. But no, they're again I think probably more Cherry Bullet size, if not a little bit bigger than that. Maybe they've had a little more success.
I think maybe we're being optimistic to think that they would be on there, but I don't know.
It's a dream pick, but also a realistic pick.
I think so.
You could have 6 smallish groups, and the way the show works is that there still be people checking them out. You don't automatically need a popular group to get people to tune in. You just need groups that have a bunch of different kinds of styles, and people watching it would slowly pick their favorite. And then it doesn't matter if that person that's their favorite. So like you might fall in love with Dreamcatcher, and you'll watch every show. It doesn't take much to hook someone on these type of shows, and so I could see it even being 6 small groups. But Dreamcatcher's known enough, and they got a different enough thing.
I'm thinking the most appropriate groups, in my opinion, if I was in charge, are these kind of mid-tier groups.
And somebody with, like you said, with something to gain.
Something to gain.
And in this case, they have a very strong style and strong fan base, so they don't need necessarily to solidify that. What they need to do is just get more eyes
attention.
On them. Just get more people looking at them and buying their albums. And Dreamcatcher toured before We missed it. It was
We didn't go.
I remember seeing the pictures like, oh, they were right there, like it's a real small club.
Yeah.
So they, they already have a history. They just need to pump it up with numbers now a little bit. I think
so.
this show would be good
I would
for
love
it.
to. I would love
Oh,
to see
yeah.
them on there. And next, my personal fave, one of my alts, Purple Kiss, the Little Sisters of Reigning Queens, Mamamoo, need to do this show.
I agree.
Please, RBW, please put them on Queendom. Do whatever it takes. Like, they not only could use the attention and exposure, like, they are just the legendary vocal powerhouses. They have that same like strength that Mamamoo had coming into the show, where they can just show their vocal style, and I would just love to see them on this show.
This is probably, if I'm thinking of our list correctly, the only other group that I could replace Cherry Bullet with and be happy about it. Cherry Bullet's my dream because I want to see Bora and her hardworking team there get some attention and show. I just want to see Bora just destroy everybody emotionally, make everybody cry. This is the type of thing where they're not going to hit the same power notes, but they're going to do that. They have such lovely ways to show off, like Swan's voice in particular, that it would be like a bit more of an R&B. Bringing that to Queendom would be really pretty. Like
each group we've mentioned so far is so different from one another, and they bring a different style, that seeing them go on there and show their like unique style, like, man, it would just make them incredible lineup.
Oh, for sure.
Oh man, please, Purple Kiss,
please. They've been radio silent. I noticed
they have been very quiet. They haven't had a comeback since September. They've been very quiet.
Well, when you see groups mostly releasing selfies, you know something's up, or no selfies because they're changing their hair color. But like Kepler is now posting a ton of selfies because they're on a bit of a break.
Yeah.
Well, I think 2 of them. I think they're all done with COVID now. They've all done their time with COVID. Thank goodness. So with Purple Kiss being kind of quiet, you might see some little pictures here and there, maybe cute little things. Maybe
I'm hoping
groups, unless they are really from the worst label in the world, are always kind of doing something.
Right.
They're always planning something, training on something.
Please.
I mean, look what happened with IVE. Nobody even heard about that. And meanwhile, for 6 months, they were just training their buns off. So Purple Kiss would be, this is more
not
of
to
a
mention,
dream than anything. But
like, they're incredible vocalists. Like, Yuki is like one of the best new female rappers that exist. She is so good, and their dance line.
Yeah, their dances are really good.
I want, please.
I think they would be funny. I mean, every one of these groups have a little bit of everything.
I love them so much.
I think they would be really funny, and they would mix with other people well. But not so much Swan, but I could imagine singing with like a Bora or another powerhouse lineup. Swan could do it.
Vocal.
Swan could do it as well.
They're reunite from produced.
Right. You could see some of that fun. So this is the way things have been going though lately in K-pop. It wouldn't surprise me if a dream lineup like this happens, because K-pop has been doing that a lot more. Has been messing around with people have asked about these groups. Let's put them together. Super M stuff like that. It's a fun thing to see. So
come on, girls, let's go.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
The next of my dream picks is Brave Girls. I think that one of the things that was really nice about like all of the shows, really, well, more Kingdom and then First Queendom, is that having that sort of more senior group there, like in Park Bom's case, and then B2B on Kingdom, having someone who's been in the industry for a while, and Brave Girls are just like everyone's darlings. And I would love to see them bring in the viewership because they are very mainstream popular in Korea.
Yeah, that's what I hear,
And also get to see them show off their skills and what they can do and what they bring to the table that's creative and different. That they're not just like this meme song or whatever. They are actually very talented vocalists and dancers and stuff. And I would love to see them come in and just show us something we've never seen from them before. And just be funny and lovable because what they are.
And if you follow Brave Girls, you know that their meme song, whatever, is not all. They have great other songs, especially the last one was really good.
Yeah.
But if you're you might have heard of Brave Girls if you're not into K-pop in Korea and the rest of the world because of that meme. So they might pull in some of those people curious about what else they're doing. I would love
to see them on
And
there.
I think I can't remember her name on the far left is the only person who would come back to who would come back be
yeah,
a
that little
returning
story of
person
her. She was on Queendom as Park Bomb's representative dancer,
her surrogate dancer.
to kind of come back and like have that little bit of a story to the relationship of the show in the past. I would love to see them.
I didn't know she was a dancer until I saw that her in Queendom. I thought she was the rapper.
I don't.
But
think so.
I'm unfamiliar with Brave Girls in a lot of ways. But I'm also very familiar with
They
just
don't really
their
have
song.
I don't know. I'm not. Again, I don't know them super well. So again, I would love to get to know them. I do know that they have great personalities.
Yeah, and they would be the Unis. They would probably be a bit older. You know.
Yeah, I'd love
they'd be really funny.
Come on, Brave Girls. That'd be great. And I think this is our 6th group, and last would be Luna. Luna is another one of those groups with like a ton of members, a ton of versatility. We know they can do concepts. Their dance covers of like boy group songs and stuff are just next level. So that kind of stuff, bringing that to the table would be amazing.
What is Chu doing here in this picture? That's so funny. Look at her. She's
cringe smiling.
Luna's had a weird thing. They were like the darlings of like, I don't know. They weren't large, but they weren't small. They were like this kind of hot new group. And then they were doing the different concepts, which some worked and some didn't. And then we heard about their labels, financial problems and all that. Which
that's the only
it didn't stop them from
part.
doing stuff, but you started hearing stuff about how a lot of them didn't get paid. And then she was always making jokes on her reality show about getting paid. Yeah. And you know, you're like, being a K-pop idol is it's like you can be rich at the same time having no money at all.
Right,
you can get free food and free clothes, but you don't have any cash.
Yeah, it's very there's a facade there.
So I think that this is like the other large groups in here. You could have 2 or 3 not make it. So and so doesn't want to do it, or is off doing another project or whatever. And it still wouldn't hurt because they do have such versatility in all the members. They're incredible dancers. They have good rappers. What's her name? I can't remember all these names. I'm sorry, but she was really good in the So What rap. You know, just cool looks. So I think that they would pull in actually a ton of views as well. They're very, very popular.
I think so.
I don't know if they're internationally more popular than locally.
Yeah.
And then off of this show, because the hope is off of this show, you could see groups who got some popularity from it. Maybe a couple memes got out there, or whatever. The show would be ending in springtime, early summer. That's when COVID will probably be cleared up quite a bit, and a lot more they're saying, and maybe they could tour afterwards, do K-Cons or something. So Luna would be one of the darling groups that
I think so.
I think to me though they fall more into the fantasy pick and less in the reality pick.
I have a feeling Blockberry's money
because
problems.
of Blockberry.
I don't know. You have to have money to do this because they have to pay for their stages.
Yeah.
So it's slightly concerning there, but like I still hope that they would be.
Oh, I think it's. I'm saying it's like 60% fantasy, 40% reality, but it might be higher than that. It might be 50-50 or 60-40 the other way or something. But then again, they're not. I mean, I guess they had some teasers for some new stuff, but I don't. The Hula Hoop was their last thing, wasn't it?
I think that was like a Japanese album. I don't follow them terribly closely, so it's another group that like we know Chu because we watch Chu's reality content and stuff like that. But I don't know them like super well. They're not like a group that I follow very closely. But I do know and respect that they like can do some amazing performance.
Well, and I would like to hear their story. You know that they're going to have one of those stories like, "Man, we've had a rough year." They're going to say something like that, and without any details, everybody's going to know. Oh, yeah, we know. Yeah. And they have this kind of redemption arc because again, even if they don't quote unquote win, unless they're kicking people off or doing something more confrontational in the show, which I don't think they will. No. They'll just pick up fans.
Right.
I mean, the problem with Queendom, and it's going to be even worse with Queendom 2 and Kingdom and stuff like that, is you go, oh, I don't have time to like all these different groups, you know. It's really kind of like, no.
But I do, but it's fun. I like the challenge.
Yeah, same here.
So this is our last of our 6 dream picks. I wanted to give some honorable mentions as well for other groups that I could definitely see being in here and that I would be happy to see them in there. So on the end of some of the more established groups that have been around for a while, kind of seeing them come in as the more experienced people and like get to know them that way. It would be like VV's, the new group from the members of G-Friend. They have an interesting story about their breaking up and then coming back. And A-Pink is having a comeback soon. Like, so that, like, maybe they're on the upswing if they're going to be active again. A-Pink would be one. Everglow, again, could have easily been in our Dream 6.
Yeah, they would
Everglow, like, maybe swap them out with Winnie a group and I would have put them in there. that I would love to see them too.
They would be fun.
From Us 9, I don't know if they would do it, but I like their songs a lot, and I would love to see them.
They have
on
a
the
really
show.
slick, put together style. It's really nice stuff.
And then for like the rookie group storylines, Billy is that's probably the biggest stretch on this whole thing.
Yeah, but
we love them.
one. That's another
We love
group.
Billy.
If you pulled out Cherry Bullet, like if you put in Billy, I'd be
Like,
happy.
I don't think that's going to happen. They're
love
too
Billy.
small, but I adore them. Weekly is another group that I adore that I would be happy to see on the
The
show.
only thing with Weekly is I wonder.
OG7 only.
Well, I just would wonder if her injuries and stuff would keep her back a bit, and I hope not, because she's so good.
Like that's the only thing like with Weekly is I hope that they could all participate because they've had a member be out.
I mean, Monday. She could
Monday,
be a
vocal
belter. They could
queen.
do, stuff like
Like,
that.
Stacy, I saw really like a lot. I don't
Stacey's
know them
really
super
good.
well, but I love all their songs. They're a good choice. Lightsome.
That'd be cute.
I don't know them super
Brand
well, but
new,
yeah,
really.
And
cute.
then Queendom had a soloist. None of the Kingdoms had soloists. So like, if I'm thinking that they might go that route again, which I kind of don't think that they will, maybe Chungha or maybe any of the IZ*ONE members.
I mean, they don't. Park Bomb was put on there, and her shtick. The story they created for her was from this old group, but she's like an older vocalist, so she's singing with some soul and stuff,
Right.
and she even makes jokes about it in the show and stuff. And she has a very soulful voice. It's almost. It's not a perfect voice, and that's what you like about it. She does weird stuff with her voice. She's really good.
But if you brought in someone, it would be a totally different thing if you brought in someone like
That's what I'm
Chungha,
saying.
who is not only just a good vocalist, but also an incredible dancer and performer.
Exactly. Well, and all of these are. It would be with Yenna. All you have to think about is look at her last album. It has a bit of everything in there. So she would have, just from the song list of her, she could come up with anything.
Yeah.
The reason she was able to pull off the soloist so much is because she had that aura of respect as an elder statesman kind of thing. Like she's in there as the one who's been around the block and is still hanging in there, and she had a good story, and she was so cute and got so she just you felt
beloved
for it, you wanted to, you were pulling for it. Yenna and the new other girls maybe not so, but then again
But I just wanted to throw that in there. There's a lot of
Good
other
ideas,
groups
though.
that we haven't listed here. Again, if you have anyone else that I didn't list here that you want to put up as your pick, please leave a comment. There's certainly other groups, that you could talk about, but these are the ones I think are maybe the most realistic.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of people talk about Weekly and Everglow more than anything.
That's true.
For as a sure, but I'd be happy with any one of these groups
Yeah,
and
me too.
soloists. Everybody we listed. The way the show goes is you're going to end up falling in love with them anyway. And then you're like, oh man, I got to spend money on this.
And on the flip side of that coin are only a couple of groups that I wanted to talk about that I don't expect to be on the show. And I phrase it that way because I feel differently about each of them. We'll start off with Itsy. There's already rumors that the Itzy's are in talks to be on the show.
Well, yeah.
So we may be totally wrong here, and they may be on the show. I love Itsy. I adore Itsy.
I think they do fine.
They would be amazing.
Yeah.
They're one of my favorite girl groups. But I think them coming in with like any of the other groups that I listed here, they're just like head and shoulders above them in popularity.
Really popular.
They're just so popular already that they're not a group that I feel has a lot to gain from something like this.
No, but you could see them as getting the company saying, we're giving you a different kind of deal than the other groups. Maybe they pay them some. Maybe they say money's no object on your stages. You're allowed to do whatever. I don't know.
They're the sister group to the reigning champions of Kingdom and Stray Kids. But I think even Stray Kids had something to gain from going on a show like that. Yeah. Whereas I don't know if that's the case for Itsy. They're very popular, mainstream popularity.
Overseas, especially.
Overseas as well. We've seen them do so many different things. Their Mama stages from last year, did you watch those? Those were incredible. Like, what the heck?
Hard to pull off with a smaller group.
We know that they're good. They're just like kind of on a level that's, I think, slightly, personally, in my opinion, above this show.
They've already graduated.
Yeah, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Similar situation with like Twice. Like nobody, I don't think Twice would do something like that.
Yeah, who knows?
Never.
But that would be amazing.
But that's just but if they are on the show, I love them.
Yeah, I love Itsy. Yeah.
But if there's a fan voting element and there's Itsy on the show, they win every competition.
That's what people are already saying.
And
it's not fair.
There's literally no one else. It's not that it's not fair. That's totally fine.
It's just what it is.
It's just,
Yeah. You want to.
I would love to. like I said, those kind of mid-tier groups that I feel like have something to personally gain from it and can show me something I haven't seen before, whereas Itsy will just show me what I've seen before, which is already great performances.
Yeah, because they've already
done... No hate to Itsy, don't hate on me.
No, they've
for
already
saying
done
that.
a variety of content. So
I don't expect, and this is a kind of, this is where I don't want Kepler. People talk about it because they're in the Mnet group or whatever. I do not want Kepler on this show. Like, that's the only group that could come on here where I would actually be a bit frustrated.
Yeah.
Because they're on a short contract. They have 2.5 years together.
Yeah.
This takes 3 months of that time.
It's a lot of time.
We've already wasted a lot of time because the member's getting ill
and
having to be, like, take breaks and stuff like that. Like, Girls Plan ended in October. We got our debut in January. I want them focusing on comebacks. I want them to just focus on their career as Kepler in the short time that they have. I don't want them wasting 3 months on Queendom.
Another thing is while they're very skilled, a group, there's a lot of different.
They're so new together.
They're still figuring out who they are and their personality and everything.
They've already been through the ringer emotionally, having gone through Girls Planet. I don't want them to compete for anything ever again. Like,
as a matter of fact,
they won. They're in their place where they are now. I just want them to focus on comebacks and having a good time. I don't want them to do anything weird and stressful like this. I don't want it. I don't think it'll happen anyway.
I think their schedule is too packed for them to fit 3 months of a reality show. And they're like, but you've got to practice for your next 2 albums that we've got planned out. Because they'll squeeze 4 or 5 albums. So I just don't. I don't. They're very rookie as much as anybody else. But of all the groups we mentioned, they would be the rookiest,
right?
Other than maybe like a Billy or something.
And the fact that they came from an Mnet survival show, it just doesn't make sense for them to be on another Mnet competition show. Like, people talk about them, but I don't see it, and I quite frankly don't want it because I want comebacks instead.
People would be crying foul and leaving bad comments.
Yeah,
it's like,
let them I don't
be
want
successful.
the hate they would get either for like.
I mean, they're already very successful. They don't need the show, but still. It'd be interesting, but I'd be kind of like, let them rest a little bit. Let them rest. Let them go do the other stuff, whatever. Yeah. Same with Itsy. I've seen them so much and so many different concepts. They're great, but they're already in their own world. They don't need to try and find another world. That's just how we feel about it. But.
Yeah. Yep. So that's my don't expect / don't want. And that's it for our discussion today. The actual show begins on March 31st. Today is
the 12th, I believe,
of February. Yeah. So they have not announced the lineup yet. We'll see how right or wrong we are when they do announce it. I wanted to get this out really early.
So today is the 12th, right? So I'm predicting that if the show starts at the end of the March, that we'll have an announcement within 2 weeks of the lineup.
Probably.
They have to start filming that to be they have to have that
about
lag.
A month, yeah.
Especially with COVID, they have to have a lag to allow for a group to kind of adjust a bit. So they're not going to say it's live, you're doing the show now. No way. You have to plan and
I just want it to go off without a hitch and with everyone being safe and like nobody getting sick or anything like that because like every day if you look at the like news announcements on like K-pop episodes, someone else is getting sick and like every day it's an announcement like I want them to go in there and be in the little bubble and like stay safe and healthy for like 3 months.
It's happening for different reasons that we don't need to get into. But
I'm just saying that like I want them to be able to pull this off and everybody be cool and like everyone.
I agree.
Well. That's what I want. I want it to be
everybody stay safe.
Really go really well. So we'll be back on this channel starting around April 1st with our recaps for Queendom. So please. Check back, subscribe to the channel for a notification whenever the episode goes up, and look forward to our silly ramblings about Queendom 2 this year.
Good. I hope it's one of those, at least one of our picks. We won't feel so silly.
I mean, I named almost everyone in the industry,
so
like we're gonna get there someone, right?
Who knows?
Most importantly for me, Purple Kiss. But
that or Cherry Bullet, but Purple Kiss is one of those ones that I would just be like. What? We get to see them every week because they haven't been doing so much content lately, so that'd be amazing.
Okay, that's it. Thanks for listening.
Bye.